What's going on? I don't make a whole lot of videos like that, but today I've been very inspired. Special message. This is an encouraging message tonight, especially to the feminine principle out there. You have no idea how much just the little things you say to us inspire and help keep us going. You have to realize your power as a feminine energy on this planet that um, it surpasses everything when it comes to our relationship. And let's get really funky with this American thing, because let's just say, on a positive note, we get the justice for brother and all the other brothers. They get convicted, the chair, whatever folks feel is the justice, whatever you feel is justice in this situation in your mind, right? Let's just say that happens. What then? Um, this is deeper than, and you're talking to one of the targets, you know what I'm saying, the primary targets in America. So, you come sideways if you want, but being that target, I also have a responsibility to the rest of what's going on in our family collectively. We have issues with family curses. There's people who have been experiencing some horrendous shit throughout the generations in their family. People before they're born, the trauma that their mother experienced gets passed on. I don't know how many sisters I know that have expressed their being taken advantage of or raped or molested. It is ridiculous, the number. You would think it is not like that, but a lot of people, this is the stuff we don't talk about. And this is what the real issue of what's going on now is all about. We got to get to the root of this so it doesn't happen again. And getting to the root of it means we got to be 100% real with the we got child sex trafficking, the boy Weinstein and all that shit. I mean, it's bigger than you think. And we got kids disappearing everywhere. We're not riding for them. We got women who are abused every day. And domestic violence is on the rise here. You know what I'm saying? Because people can't go nowhere, and the people they with, they ain't shit. Like, the relationship ain't shit. It was faulty foundation, and they going at each other. And it's the best, and women usually don't fare too well against the men when it gets physical. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of trauma and issues that we aren't even addressing that is bigger than just the social dynamic of people coming at people of color. Now, if you want to come at it like that, the reason for that is, and I would like this to go throughout the world, not America. We know what the fuck going on here in America because we in America. We live this shit. But through movies and music, you would never know that outside of the country. You have a whole nother perspective on who you think we are over here and what we stand for. But it's not really like that. And that's because of the media. And I say that because if y'all really want to protest and get some shit done, y'all burning down and looting fucking McDonald's and shit, when y'all should be, if you gonna do something, go to the NBC News and burn that shit down for all the lies and all the shit that they done started. You know what I mean? The motherfucking white boys down there in Atlanta had to write out. They didn't went up at CNN. You know what I'm saying? At least they had to. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go for the big fish. Uh, that's side note to the shit. Side note to the shit. But we don't deal with these problems that exist in our communities. If we can't deal with the problems that exist in our very homes, then it don't matter what happens to two, three, four, a group of cops, whatever, because there's still a community to deal with. They're out here policing us because we don't police ourselves. We see shit go wrong every day. You know what I'm saying? We see the drugs and the guns and the violence, and we do nothing. We see the billboards of cigarettes and booze in our neighborhoods, and they've been there for years, but nobody's burning and tearing those down. You feel what I'm saying? We got to start somewhere that's practical, that makes, I guess maybe I'm just off in another realm because I see a different world, and right now with the retrogrades, and I'll explain a little bit of that retrograde because I'm making coffee right now. I said I'm gonna make my coffee and go to bed, but I felt compelled to do this video. With the retrogrades, a retrograde means a revisiting, and how that plays out in your chart will be in different areas of your life, basically. So say we have Mercury coming up. Mercury is communication. So say that you have it in the seventh house, which is relationships. You're going to revisit shit in relationships. Maybe things that weren't said, and depending on whatever else is there, is going to affect it. But for the most part, you're going to be revisiting a lot of things from your past. And what you should be doing is picking out those beautiful moments and carrying that into the future. And all those moments that you didn't get to say or do things, or things you regret saying, that's when you get to make those amends. You get to reach out to that person and be like, you know what, I was wrong, or I apologize, or thank you for helping me see something I didn't see at the time. I now realize it, kind of thing. And you'd be surprised how healing that is for you and the other person. You feel what I'm saying? Um, Review time. It's going to be, this energy going to be here for a minute. Now, the thing I was talking about earlier about them using our sciences, but they can't harness the energy like we can. We have one of the most important times of the year in our culture, which is the solstice. And if you think of the planets as a time lock, you feel what I'm saying? And go another explosion and shit. Fucking time lock. You know how the time locks have those different layers that shift. It's like in Hellboy when they went into the troll market. That's how the planets are. And when they line up in different places, different portals open up. And the solstice happens to be one of the most powerful ones there is. So when it's lined up, the energy that you put into that is what's going to come back down to you. So it's important that everybody try to get to a place where at least you're within your own being, that you're cool, that you're doing your work, your inner work, because we've inherited a lot of things, not just physically from our parents, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Um, if your mother went through trauma while you were in the womb, you inherited that trauma, and it affected your life, and you might not have even known it, right? That's why a lot of us are here now at this time, because we're strong enough to recognize and deal with this shit, and also help others to deal with this shit. Because the more people that are on the vibration, you'd be surprised what 2 or 3 people in a room could do with a collective focus. It's amazing. But imagine, I like to dream big. What if 100 people? What if this went viral along with all the other people who are on the frequency? Because I don't want you to take what I say to heart as the end all be all, nor anybody else. It's not what it's about. It's about coming to your own understanding about what you want to see in your reality and how you want to shape that. First of all, the only thing that we share is that we're born into this world and that we're going to die. That's it. You know what I'm saying? As far as flat out, no way around it. That's the crust of the pizza. Whatever you put on top is whatever you put on top. It's gonna bake. You know what I'm saying? But we have we find ourselves in a situation now that is tense. We find ourselves in a situation now where, regardless of how you feel, you can't change how somebody else feels uh, about what's going on. That's not your job. I'm not here to try to convince you, nor should you try to be convincing anybody else. It's about coming to your own truth. But what I say tonight is what has really got to change. And to leave this with a positive or a high note, I don't want anybody to let this stop you from accomplishing what you feel your purpose is in this life. If you have that purpose, don't let this stop you. Don't let the lack of anything come to your mind. Pursue it with all of your heart, because you can achieve it. You know what I'm saying? There are people right now prospering, and not in a detrimental way where they're feeding off of this bullshit. They're doing it in their purpose. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your frequency of self-love and unconditional forgiveness, all that fly shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you got hate, and we all got it somewhere, and you just want a place to put that sword, just make sure you're putting it in the right place and applying that energy to something that's going to be, you do have to destroy the bill, but make sure you're destroying the right things. Like I said, in the communities and the inner cities, you know how we just plagued with detrimental visualization all the time. We do away with that. We have that kind of a power. You know what I'm saying? and replace it with that beautiful art that influences and inspires people to think outside the box. You feel what I'm saying? To uh let me see. I mean, there's so much I want to say right now, but I think y'all get the gist of it. And I know my coffee's ready, and I'm ready to kind of chill out and get in that zone again and start dreaming of a better life. Not just in this realm, but, you know, what you leave out of here with is what you take with you. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people have to repeat coming back here because they don't get these things resolved. But now is the time to resolve them because the world is watching and attention is everything. You know what I'm saying?